discuss big data and marketing research in unit 3 of the marketing research paper. So previously we covered about the marketing research, what are the components, types, and how data is playing an important role in the marketing research. So today we will cover what are the majority and the importance of big data. Then, what are the different types of big data we will find in the context of marketing research? Then, types of big data and how it is affecting marketing research. What is the requirement of the study of big data and its analysis? And big data and marketing research, how they are associated with each other, and gaining insights from big data, the application of big data in marketing research and challenges also will be discussed in this unit. So, in the beginning, we should know that at the end of this chapter, we will be able to appreciate the role of big data in marketing research. Means how it is affecting, what is the impact of big data, and how we will say data is different from big data, and why we are saying it is big data, not a data. Then we will be able to describe the types of big data, then explain the characteristics of big data, what are the different characteristics for which it is different from data. Then we will discuss the distinct advantages of big data in marketing research, how it is beneficial for the researcher to conduct any kind of marketing research. Then we will be able to assess and challenges associated with the application of big data. It means we must know what are the applications of big data in marketing research. So, in this context, we would like to say that while marketers have always used customers' database, so it is a discussion about a simple data. Database means the simple data is there and technologically advanced also. So, these kind of data have dramatically changed the nature of data. So, what we want to say now, marketers always use customer database as it is required for the marketing research, and technological advancement have dramatically changed the nature of data. As day to day life, we are facing some changes in the technological point of view, or we can say the advancement. Definitely, this advancement will change the nature of data. So, the rise of social media and mobile techno now generates massive amounts of unstructured data. How? Now, let us previously we had no mobile phone, no audio video system different from the television, and the television was also previously related to the networks or satellite. But nowadays, this scope has expanded more. So, in the previous era, when we required any kind of data, so what the researcher was doing, the researcher was only focusing on the hard copy or the data collected from the respondents. But nowadays, everybody is sharing data in any platform. That means in our hand, the mobile phone, which is an instrument of providing data. In our front, what laptop we are using or desktop computer system, whoever it may be, we are using, in that time also we are providing data. But not necessarily it is always required to survey, and in survey you collect the data. So it means that the social media has been raised, and technically we are more sound other than the previous era. That is why every day, whatever activity we are doing in the social media, whether we are liking a video, whether we are commenting any lines on a video, these are nothing but the data we are providing automatically to the person. So these are the comments, likes, and any suggestion we are providing in that platform is nothing but the unstructured data. As because In that particular video or photo, there has no specification has given. We just providing our views or likes in our own page. So what responses the person who is getting from the video or the photo, that is called unstructured, as it is not in a complete structure. And also with some semi-structured data we are getting from the different social media and or we can say social media platform. So these data is characterized by huge volume. So now when the collection of data is now changed, when the data is gathered automatically from the respondent, then the volume of the data as compared to the previous time, it is increasing and it is voluminous now. Or we can say we have no space also to store them, as it is so huge data we are collecting or we are getting in every fraction of time. And the volume and wide variety of formats also, and it leading to the concept of big data. So why we are saying it is a big data? Now data, if we are talking about data, then it was that we were collecting. So for that we have a limitation or limit, we can say that much of data is required, so that much of data will be collected. But here, unwantedly and wantedly, we are collecting a voluminous data at every fraction of time nowadays. So storing of data or such kind of data, when we are storing, after that we seeing that it is a very big volume or we can say it is a large data. That is why we are saying it as a big data. The concept of big data came. So the unit will focus on understanding big data and its application in marketing research to help decision makers will make well informed choices. So let us know what is briefly what is big data. So our digital activities, as we discussed, that is the telephones, the mobile phones, and the mobile apps constantly generate a digital footprints. Whenever even we are seeing some videos, that is also a type of data which collected by the person, that how much time I have invested in that particular image and video. So this contributes to an enormous amount of data being created every day, estimated at 2.5 unique quintillons bytes. So this rate of data generation is expected to increase even further with the growth of the Internet of Things. So big data originates from a vast range of sources. This includes internal systems like customer database and transaction records, or we can say any kind of like, dislike, comments, whatever we are giving in our suggestion to the person who has floated the picture or video. That is nothing but the information we are saying, we are sharing. So human generated data from emails, social networks, and web clicks also, what we discussed. When we are clicking also, that is a kind of data we are providing to the respondent. Those respondents means those person who has floated that particular image or video in the internet. So, and machine generated data from the servers, sensors, and IoT devices. Other than that, there is also data which is generated by machine and server also, and sensor and IoT devices also are generating data. Furthermore, big data environments incorporate external data also from outside of the organization, and the data is not just structured but also includes diverse formats like audio, video, and image files, and is often analyzed as a continuous system of information. See what we are saying now, data is nothing, is not only the what information we are say want to say or what we are responding. It is also collected from the sensor servers, and the system also generates data, and IoT devices are also included. So big data is so large and complex, as because in data it is not only the clicks but also some audios. Sometimes we are seeing a video but we want to give some comment in audio, so we just recorded our audio and posted. This is also a type of data. So audio, video, texts, clicks, all are including all the type of data each consists in under the big data. So it is too large and complex as because the size, volume, and the structure is not same. So in simple words, big data can be defined as data that has a wider variety, arrives at a faster rate, and arrives in higher quantities also. So in big data, we are giving focuses like variety and the speed and the quantity. This is all trees are very high in nature in comparison to other data. So such data can be collected through various sources such as blogs, comments, all permissions, online surveys, virtual check-ins, on e-commerce portals, etc. So big data is often stored in computer databases and it is analyzed using specialized softwares. So we can say the data are stored, but it is analyzed with different softwares as it is because it is very voluminous and it is too wide in nature. So it was all about what is big data and what is the understanding of big data and why we are saying it as a big data. Then coming to the third point, the types of big data. How many types of big data? As we are collecting the data, big data in different structure or different type, as all are not in same size and shape. So we must know what are the different types of big data. So there are different types. What we have cited here. The first one is structured data. So structured data means it has a specific predetermined format. Structure means that it means when we are keeping in record the data we are recording, these are in a given format. So it means the format has been decided first, and according to the format we are making the data, keeping the data with us. That is called structured format. If the data are in that format, and it is highly organized with distinct characteristics, allowing is to be easily resorted, updated, and analyzed. Again, what we are saying now, the data is not only organized, it has also another distinct characteristics, that it is too sorted, and it is also allows us to easily sort the data, updated the data, and also can be analyzed easily, as because the only reason is it is structured, it is given in the format, and the format is designed by the person who is requiring the data. And this type of data is typically stored is fixed filed within row and columns, like in a database or Excel spreadsheet, we can say. So the format or structured database actually saved, we can save it in an Excel sheet or in any kind of where database, just like rows and having rows and columns in there. And column common example of this kind of data is includes sales record, reservation systems, financial transaction, and any other that in a consistent tabular format. It is uniform structure make it extremely valuable. That is why we are able to analyze them and able to updated them, and we can easily sort it also as per our requirement. It was all about your structured data when everything in a given format. But coming to the unstructured data, unstructured means here lack of structure. It means what structure should be there to keep the record in that format. It is not given, or it is not well defined. It is not at all defined, we can say. So unstructured data has no established hierarchy, or we can say predefined format for in which we want to keep the data, and making it fundamentally different from structured data. Why it is different from structured data? Now, it's because it has no predefined structure to keep the data into record. That is why it is different from the structured data, as structured data has a predefined format, and it dominates big data. Like it constitutes the majority of big data generated today. It constitutes the majority of big data generated today. Basically, under unstructured data, under unstructured data, we are keeping that data, or we are incorporating that data which we are collecting the data in today's. Suppose today only I collect few data, then tomorrow I collected few data. So the recently coming data are coming under unstructured data. And here, as the data collected is unstructured, so there is two challenges to analyze them. So its lack of organization makes it difficult to process, interpret, and derive meaning from the data we have collected in unstructured format. And the third point is diverse formats. So encompasses a wide variety of data type, including text file, images, videos, and audio files. So commonly we can say it is too difficult to analyze them, and also to interpret what is the conclusion and what insights we found from the unstructured data. It is too difficult to find out from the unstructured data. Commonly we can say that Google search results, photos uploaded to social media platform like Facebook and Instagrams, and videos on YouTube are all prime examples of unstructured data. As because photos, what photos I have downloaded or uploaded to the social media, it is not exactly same in size and shape with the another person who has uploaded another photos or video in the same platform or any other platform. So uploading and downloading is also one data. It is also coming under big data, as it is not same in volume and size. So we can say these are the common example of unstructured data, that is that is we can say are not equal or identical in nature, are not in identical in size and shape and volume. So these are the most example, or we can say best suit example of unstructured data. Then coming to the another types of big data is semi-structured data. So semi-structured data says it is combination of both structured and unstructured. Sometimes what happens now, some semi-structured data includes web server logs and streaming data from sensors, web applications data, etc. These are the best example of semi-structured data, because few data are in few structure, another is different from that structure. So it is a mix of we can say it is a mixed kind, like it contains some structure, it also contains some not unstructured data also. Although pre-processed semi-structured data does not appear to be a typical or SQL database. So some data cannot have the predefined structure, whereas other data is collected in an organization fashion. So these are two example which is totally opposite with each other. One is in structure, another in not structure. So unstructured and structured, this combination is coming under the semi-structured data. And the third category of or types of big data is quasi-structured data. So it falls between semi-structured data and unstructured data. So there is no question of structured data. So basically, textual content and irregular data formats, such as details on which web pages is user visited first and in what sequence, and server as an example of this quasi structured data. So quasi structured data is a kind of data set or big data, type of big data where it contains the semi structured and unstructured data. So it was all about the different types of data. Under types of data, we came to know that there are four different types of data, big data, that is structured, unstructured, semi-structured, and quasi structured data type, big data are there. And coming to the fourth content of this chapter, that is characteristics of big data. So we must know what are the characteristics which actually make it different from the data to big data. What is the characteristics a data contain? After that we are saying it is a big data. So that must be known first. So there are four, no, before going to that characteristics, we must know that there is six V's are there to define the characteristics. The first one is volume, variety, velocity, veracity, value, and variability. So among these six, the definition, or you can say the characteristics, or you can say the recognition of big data is hiding. And the first one is the volume. As the literature, or we can say as the literal dictionary meaning of volume, the data volume here we will mean. The most frequently mentioned characteristics of big data is volume. Means the volume of data inflow is rapidly increasing in business. Particularly, big data is very helpful in the business, and also most important in the marketing research, as because we are dealing with a huge kind of data in marketing research. So as the name advocates, the term big data itself, it is related to large and massive data size. And the key characteristics of this data, it is massive volume, which can range from tens of gigabytes to hundreds of petabytes for large organizations. So this data is typically unstructured in nature and of low density. Meaning it contains a lot of information that may not seem valuable on its own. For examples, it includes Twitter feeds, website click streams, and sensor data. And despite the challenges in processing it, the size of the data is crucial, as a larger data set can potentially yield more valuable information and insight. So we cannot neglect that it is a very huge volume. So we cannot neglect as because it contains a lot of information for the business and for the market also. So here the volume means what the amount of data from myriad in my resources. So basically, what we are facing, we are in a fraction of second, we are getting a huge kind of data. So the name itself advocates that we are receiving a massive data in a day, we can say. So as it is very huge in nature and the volume is very high, that is why volume is one of the characteristics, and it satisfies. Coming to the variety, uh, coming to the velocity of the coming second characteristics of the big data is variety. It says that big data is inherently heterogeneous. For instance, an enterprise's data consists of its email, documentation, support requests, picture transaction records, etc. So variety refers to the diversity of sources of data, both structured and unstructured. So what we saw here, now variety means some heterogeneous similarity is there, some dissimilarity is there. So homogeneous kind of data is there, also some heterogeneous kind of data is there. For example, suppose a business firm is receiving emails, some documentation, or some support system, support request, pictures, any transaction record if it is keeping, all are coming under data. So as our document, support request, and emails are the same? No, they are not at all same. So it means they are heterogeneous in nature, they are not at all homogeneous. No doubt they are data, but they are heterogeneous in nature. So both, and also they are not in a structure, they are also different structure, and they are having. So this kind of unstructured data has implications for the data mining, storaging, and also analysis. So you must first classify the organization of data in order to gain the insights from it, and the big data system may require the storage and management of the variety of data types. Furthermore, big data applications frequently involves multiple data sets that may not be merged at first, and then we can go for that for merging, but first it cannot be merged. For example, a big data analytics project might make an effort to estimate product sales by comparing data of various sales returns, online reviews, and customer support calls. So these are sources what I have discussed for this example. We can say definitely we will get the information, but the information we will get, it is homogeneous. It is not at all homogeneous in nature. All the sources of nature taking or keeping the data or the receiving the data is heterogeneous. So it is about the variety of data, how big data is satisfy the characteristics of variety. So it means big data consists both heterogeneous and homogeneous variety of data. Then the third was velocity of the data. Velocity is the speed of data generation and processing. As I said, once I clicked also on an image, it is or I likes, immediately within fraction of second the message came to the respondent or the person who said floated the message. So it means within a fraction of second, how many clicks is there? In number of persons are imaging seeing that images. So we are with a great speed also we are receiving that data. So it is important as the volume of the data. This high speed, excuse me, this high speed data often streams directly into memory rather than being stored on a disk first. So many modern devices and systems like smart gadgets, sensors require real time and near real time processing for immediate analysis and actions. And if we talk about the scale of humans, for example, a single jet engine can generate over 10 terabyte of data in just 30 minutes. So this constant never ending flow of the data that grows every day in a primary reason why managing big data is so challenging. Then the fourth B is value. This means that you derive from data using specialized technologies must be useful and serve a certain purpose, such as enhancing customer experience and boosting sales. All this kind of the analysis we can do from the data, big data, and data that can be utilized to study customer behavior, for instance, is essential for your business since you can use the findings to create customized promotion. And coming to the veracity is a term used to describe how accurate and reliable a set of data it is. So the data quality problems resulting from the use of raw data from diverse sources might be challenging. It is true because sometimes we are biased to feed or to give the information, or we can say the question or the image is saying something. I do understand something different, so I gave the I gave the feedback or the comments as per my wish. So if the respondent will consider that response, then it will be a wrong one or fallacious result. So there is a huge chance or great chance that the data which is collected in the big data system, that may create a very big mistakes or problem if we will deal with the raw data as it is collected from the diverse sources. Bad data causes analysis error and that can reduce the value of business analytics initiatives if they are not rectified through data cleansing procedure. So the availability of sufficient accurate data is another concern of the data management and analytics in order to get reliable outcomes. It is everywhere in the simple data, it is there. the data mining is required, data organization is required, then only we will go for the analysis. Otherwise, we can go for analysis, but the result may not be correct one. So it is the same case is happening in the big data, as we are collecting the data from variety or diverse sources. So we must analyze or cleanse fast, make it in a systematic manner. Then only we will go for the analysis. Otherwise, if we will analyze the raw data, definitely we will get a fallacious result or something which is not required or not fruitful for the persons. Then coming to the last one, it is the variability. Variability means the change. So here in big data, variability in terms used to explain how quickly and how much the data under inquiry is changing. So big data sets might have various meanings or be organized differently in different data sources, which adds another level of complexity of the big data administration and analytics. So this parameter is crucial since even slight variations in the data can have an impact on the outcomes. So it needs to regularly reevaluate and your results if the variability is considerable. So as variability is a characteristics of the big data, means the change in data is possible. So we must always be very sensitive, and we also always consider alert that, and whether the data is changed or not. On the basis of that, on the basis of the variability, we should move according. Coming to the third point, the big data and the how big data and marketing research. For that, I have cited an example that forecasting Mr. Sanjeev's future behavior based on the fact that he has been getting his groceries delivered on Wednesday between 4 and 6 p.m. for the past 3 years, as shown by your big data analytics. But you might even target him with offers based on the time, items, and frequently purchased by using the knowledge of what is on his shopping list. However, big data analytics cannot tell you why a customer shops in a particular manner, because people and their environment change though through both time and space. So the predictions we can make using big data do not take unusual behavior into consideration. Again, using Mr. Sanjeev's as an example, you would never understand why he closed to shop 1 week on Friday morning as opposed on to Wednesday afternoon, or why he is not shopping for a few weeks on or a month. That is also not possible to say on the basis of the big data analytics. So market research can help with that. Marketing research comes to the rescue in each situations. So here we can say the big data setting have an effect on how marketing research is conceptualized, necessitating the adoption of a large perspective as big data analytics becomes more common nowadays. So in this section, first we will discuss this key difference of big data analytics and marketing research. Then we will explain the process of extracting insights from the big data. So first of all, we should be able to distinguish between these two terms, that big data and the marketing research. We have few differences. The first difference is it lies in the immense volume of big data, which far surpass traditional data sets. And this data gathered in real time from our online behavior and digital activities is both structured and unstructured. Consequently, big data operates on a scale that conventional marketing research data cannot match. What it says, now there is a difference. Most important difference is volume of big data that surpasses the traditional data sets. Means the data gathered in real time from our online behavior or digital activities is both what? Now structured and unstructured also. Consequently, so if big data operates on a scale that conventional marketing research, then data cannot match them. So this is the first difference. The second difference is the data or big data's immense volume and complexity renders traditional market research method inadequate for analysis, for which specialized tool and technology are required to process this data and distill it is into actionable insights, and to avoid the bias and extract true value, this analysis must be conducted by component scientists. The third difference is the big data enables real-time behavioral analysis and prediction on a massive scale, allowing business to identify trends and make informed decisions. This is the most important track we can get from the big data analysis. However, its vast scope can obscure the individual consumer, reducing the people into data point. A key limitation we can say is that data pattern cannot explain the underlying why behind the human action, but which are often irrational and emotionally driven. So this lack of causal understanding makes it difficult to interpret anomalies or truly comprehend consumer motivations. Coming to the sixth content of this module or this chapter, that gaining insights from the big data, that what insights we are getting from the big data, and what we are understanding by talking about or discussing about the big data in marketing research. As we can see here in the previous section, the emergency, or we can say the importance of big data, is gradually reshaping and complementing the research process. Big data implies high dimensionality and a significant sample size. So here, when in a research we are talking about the sample as here, but in case of big data, what is happening now? The size of the population is too large, too voluminous. So if it is the population, obviously the sample size will also be significant. And what is happening with the big data, as it is gradually reshaping and complementing the research process also. And big data is implies the high dimensionality and a significant sample size which is required for past in the marketing research. And we can see, or we can highlight some insights of the big data. The first one is high dimensionality problems. So, what is high dimensionality? Now, a large number of variables. That is, what is the meaning of variable? Now, it is nothing but your high dimensionality that leads to issues like noise accumulation, spurious correlation, and incidental homogeneity. For example, there are some instances, and that instance actually explained by some videos. So the person who is watching the video may not understand the situations, or the what is the message through the video, but the person who are in the video, they are so attracted by the respondent, and on the basis of them, the respondent has given the views. So what happens now? It is the answer, or it is the data collected, or response we can say, but that response, it is not really correlated. Actually, it is correlated due to some attraction, some other factors are there, so which is affecting the response. So that is called spurious correlation. So a large number of variables, as there is a variability, or there is a condition or characteristics of change in the data, it leads to issues like noise accumulation. That is spurious correlation. If that kind of data is collected through the online platform, obviously we will get a spurious correlation, which is incidentally homogeneity, but actually it is not homogeneous with nature. Then computational and algorithmic challenges are also there in the big data. The combination of high dimensionality and massive sample sizes results in high computational costs and makes algorithm unstable. So what happens in the big data computational? Now, as because the data is very high and very massive in dimension point of view, and in also very large in sample size, so it requires some computational cost. And to make what type of computational cost? Now, to train the algorithms to study these kind of computational things, so it costs a very high charges. It is also another challenges in algorithmic and computational problem in the big data. And data heterogeneity issue is also there, as because we have already discussed there is some mismatching, or we can say some things or some data are homogeneous and others are not homogeneous in nature, as because the data sources are diverse and the category of data and the quantity of data we are responding every day is also different. So big data is often aggregated from diverse sources and times also and technology, and also it includes problems of heterogeneity and experimental variation and statistical basis biases, as it is also inbuilt in the analysis. It is because due to the heterogeneity of the sources, and also the experimental variation is also heterogeneous due to the heterogeneous data, and it need a robust method. Due to that dissimilarity, or due to that difficulties, we require a robust method. Means these challenges should be addressed by addressed by that kind of method is required. So necessate, and it also development is required for more flexible and reliable, and also required a robust statistical and computational process. So how much attractivity is, that much of challenges is also there in handling the big data into in a process, or we can say in the process of analysis. So role of big data analytics we in that point we can say specialized analytics combines technologies like databases and data mining tools with advanced methods to process with complex data and extract insights that improves the business performance. Otherwise we cannot do manually at each. Then acquisition of records. So in case of big data, informations coming in variety of forms and variety of formats, any type of structured or unstructured sources may provide big data. So we cannot say that in that particular source we will get the data. So there are n number of sources. That is why it is called varieties of sources are there to get the information. So collection of all the data in initial phase in order to generate the entire data for big data system connected to the social media, networks, internets, and crawling algorithms, user device sensors, financial transaction, etc. So data acquisition often starts with hardware and software tools. So in hyperscale computing systems, new data is captured and stored using predefined data acquisition frameworks such as software tools or protocols. These are the examples of acquisition of and record of data. So we can see the same structure in the 13.2 figure, that is acquisition of recording is connected to extraction and cleaning. So as the diverse sources are there and variety is there, so after acquisition or recording of the data, we will go for the extraction and cleaning of the data. Then after cleaning, we will go for the integration of data and aggregation and representation of the same data. Then from that cleaned data, we can move to the modeling and analysis of the data. After analysis only, we can go for the interpretation. So, in the point of extraction and cleaning, we can say it involves potentially unreliable, unstructured data as it is there in the variety of formats. Just like tracking devices like smartphones, wearable fitness trackers, malfunctions, and social media profiles may be out of date, and data files may be damaged by defective storage media. So data cleaning is the process of locating and we can say the correcting the data issues such as missing, erroneous, or it is on inconsistent values are there. So we have to correct all these things. So data file qualities standards and established using error detection and data repair method, all these are coming under the extraction and cleaning of this big data. So it is actually the process, it is actually known to changing the format and distributed data, traditional processing known as data extraction. So after that, the third step was there the integration or aggregation, integration, aggregation, and the representation of the big data. What we are doing here now in the integration and it is, as we know, the big data is the integration of heterogeneous data set with the different dimensionality and into a single database created to meet standardization and analytical requirement is necessary for the big data analysis. So identical data such as financial transactions may be stored across multiple data sets and that are under the ownership of the various firms. For instance, a merchants and a credit card company might both record of the same transactions. So this is called a similar kind of thing. So if it is, then we have to consider and integrate them. So to conduct an accurate analysis, a data set or we can say database created for information from the card company and the retailer must be reconciled. Then after aggregation, representation, and integration, we will move to the modeling and analysis part. So what we are doing here now, choosing the right machine learning model depends on the type of input data and the desired output, and often requires testing multiple models whether the model is best suited for our problem or not. That should be tested and and then we will move to the validation of the model critically, means prediction must be rigorously verified that and the models must be assessed for performance and to ensure accuracy before being relied upon the insights. Then we will move to the diverse data types requires specialized analytics. Here extracting meaningful patterns from the big data necessitates different analytical techniques tailored to the big data formats such as text, audio, video analytics, all these to be specialized. Then text analytics can process human generated text. Then we will segregate them. Then to create useful summaries and gauge the metrics like customer brand rating. These kind of things we can do after the text analytics of the unstructured, if unstructured data set is there, and obviously it will be there. And then we will move to the multimedia extraction under that modeling analysis. But we will do now, we will do audio analytics derives insights from unstructured sources like customer services calls, while video analytics structures information from content such as user created video. These things should be cited. And in at the last we will understanding the network influences, the data which is collected from the networks that investigate relationship using commonly detected detection of identify groups and social influence. These things to be analyzed from the networks. After all the process, we will interpret the data. So here, decision maker must be able to comprehend and analyze the finding after analysis and modeling of the finish. So results are translated to the decision trees or the visual forecasting models to help the parties involved understand the data and improve business decision. Finally, in the marketing research, we are dealing with the big data to derive decisions from the big data. So, at the last step of the process in interpretation, by seeing the interpretation, we can interpret it, and by seeing the interpretation, we can take a very good decision for the marketing process for which we are collecting the data or big data. Then the next point is application of big data in marketing research, how we are applying the big data. Here, the first and foremost important point is better consumer relationship building. So here it enhances experience. How it is now, this knowledge allows for the planning of smooth customer journey, which leads to a better overall customer experience. Inform strategy, understanding the customer preferences empowers us to make some informed decision for the formulating of effective strategies. Then it will also build loyalty, like companies can use these insights to offer incentives like frequent flyer rewards and best price suggestions for the foster customers loyalty and encourages repeated business. Then product development and brand positioning also it helps us. Due to that, business use big data to build predictive models and anticipate customer preferences, and also it simplifies product positioning by helping marketers using STP segmentation targeting positioning strategy that will effective categories to categorize the target the right audience. It also helps to product development and launch strategies for planned using analytics from a variety of sources, including focus group, social media, and test marketing data. And in designing and promotional plan also, big data is composed information aggregated from various sources including social media and e-commerce platforms. It and the marketers analyzes this data to understand market trends, which allows them to design competitive promotional plans to meet their objectives. In capitalization and customer intent, we can say this tactic works by interpreting the repeated customer actions as high purchase intent, allowing business to maximize revenue by increasing their price motivation. And it also helps in price optimization as it gives the business access to information on the prices of competitive brands. This implementation of the price filter on an e-commerce website enables marketers to comprehend the consumers propensity to spend money on their chosen brand and products. And in the point of know your customers also, you can know your customers in a popular concept initially convinced, and banking and financial institution also it is required. And this is the 360-degree review of big data allows marketers to present or to present the customer specific content when there will be effective most effective and to improve the online and in-store brand recognition and recall. In operational efficiency also, it is the biggest impact of big data, as it is being felt that operational efficiency, even if it is may not always be in the news, big data analysis and assessment can be used to evaluate the production, consumer feedback and returns and other aspects to decrease outstage and foresees of future demands. Then coming to the challenges of the big data, we can say the lengthy process is the first challenges what we faced. Collection of data real time provides accurate data, and the companies they are facing a very high challenges in collection of the big data. But this process is quite lengthy as there is constant updation in the data collection. So second challenges is lack of proper understandings. So users may not fully aware of the analysis process and storing process and even importance of the data. In such situation, users may not preserve the backup and sensitivity of the data. And the third challenge we can say storage of the data collected, as it is too large data, though it needs one biggest obstacles to using a use of big data. So companies, data centers and databases are storing an ever-growing amount of data. So this is a major challenge, as well as known as the unstructured data requires significantly amount of high storage space to keep it in record. And the third next challenge is a selection of right tools of analysis, as it is very collected from diverse sources and heterogeneous data type. It is not sufficient to have a only single data analysis tool to analyze it. So it requires a very advanced tools and advanced statistical tools to analyze it. And inadequacy of data analytics professional, if the professional having no idea or very less idea about the data analysis process with the advanced tool, so it is also gives us a um, zero result, or you can say a good result we cannot get. So lack of such skill puts business in a position where they must figure out how to analyze the data and come up with the accurate solution. Then data security is another point of challenge. Integration of data from various sources or desired output like ERP, software, customer logs, financial report, emails. So we require so different sources, and we have to integrate all the sources, and which is very highly challenging in this point of view of storage of data is of storage of big data, particularly as the area of digitalization and it is growing leaps and bounds. But the security of such huge data is base is another challenge. So if proper security application are not available with the companies, so it is easy to collect, no doubt, but it is easy for the data hackers to hack the data and misuse it. So which is again it is a most important and really very challenging job for the particular person who is dealing with the big data. So if there is no use of big data or no use of data, it is okay, but if it is misused by somebody else, then it is very dangerous for the organization. So it was all about the big data and how it is applicable in the marketing research. But in summary, we can say it is we covered the types of big data that contains structured, unstructured, semi-structured, and quasi-structured kind of data. So again, we discussed also the different 6 V's like volume, variety, velocity, veracity, value, and variability. How and what they are, how they are plays an important role in the big data. Before dealing with the big data, one must be very much clear about that. 6 V's. Then we also discussed two key characteristics of big data are highly dimensionality and large sample size. So these characteristics present 3 major difficulties. That high dimensionality alone causes problem like noise accumulations that we said, and spurious correlation we discussed, and also incidental homogeneity. We discussed how instantly it is homogeneous, and or we can say it is looks like homogeneous, but it is not really it is homogeneous. So that is one challenge. Then high dimensionality combined with large sample size leads to high computational cost, and how it is again impact to algorithmic instability, as there is instability in the data. The big data is changing in nature, so it is changing frequently. So it incurs high cost in computational as well as in the algorithmic stability. As the data is changing, the time to time we have to change the algorithms of the analysis of the big data. Then massive samples are often aggregated from diverse sources. As we previously said that the data we are getting or we are collecting from sources, they are very diverse in nature. So there is a possibility of raising concern about heterogeneity and experimental variance, as it is varies frequently, and it is also related to high quality, or we can say advanced statistical tool to analyze it. So consequently, there is a need of design and more flexible of reliable process to handle the challenges is required. So finally, what we understand, no doubt there is a time to deal with the data, and obviously when we are talking about the big data, definitely we have a large data storage capacity. At the same time, we have the advanced statistical tool. If a person or the company have everything with them, then only the big data is possibly give a better solution, or we can say the right solution to that company. So it was all about in the topic of big data and marketing research. Thank you for this session.